Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween of Lola Bunny.
Yeah, and I'm Gina Davis, and I'm a Rockford Peach today. I've got my first glove when I was 9 years old. This is my first glove, Christy.
That's your first glove?
I think it's still, I can still use it. It was my first Little League baseball glove, and I decided to be a Rockford Peach.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm Lola Bunny. And so, it was a holdover. My daughter Bree wanted this a couple years ago. I just took it out of the package because at the last minute, of course, she had changed her mind. So I just took the tags off of it and popped it on. This is when I open the door and give the treats to the littles tonight with basketball. They might not know who I am. They didn't know last year I tried Beyonce and they were just like,
oh,
well, you can get the candy if you guess who I am, and none of them guessed. I was mortified.
This is going to be my candy bowl right here. I'm going to pass out candy out of my glove like this.
Here's mine. Look at mine.
I love it. Lola Bunny. One of the all-time great movies, Space Jam, #1.
Yeah, Space Jam. Oh, my goodness. Well, hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
This is actually the final, which I hate to say, Hoopin podcast with my dearest friend, Debbie Antonelli. I'm Christy Winter-Scott here on the Her Hoop Stats podcast network. The college season, Debbie, is about to heat up. NBA is going. We both do men's and women's college basketball. I do some NBA stuff as well, mixed in, and then all of the other philanthropic stuff that you do that I would like to do more of. That's going to get kicked into, and it's just going to be super busy, honey.
Yeah, it's besides following our own kids and keeping up with the entire landscape on the men's and women's side in college hoops, and then all the news that continues to break in the WNBA. It's going to be exciting off season, and that doesn't mean we're not coming back. We'll be back next year. Hopefully our listeners will be missing us, but my podcast is going to keep going, Nothing But Net. And if you are interested in subscribing to that, please look for Nothing But Net. We're going to keep that going. I think this is year 5 or 6 of that. So that's fun. We're going to keep that going. But you can come on my podcast anytime you want, Christy.
I'm definitely going to do that. And we may still try to keep Hoopin going on. We may have to change the name because Hoopin with Christy and Debbie is just a vibe. Like we have to keep that by itself. But we're still probably going to maybe organize some here and there podcasts right here on the Her Hoop Stats podcast network in this space during the college season, especially if big games are on the horizon. We may just have some special guests to hold your spot for you, Debbie, and then bring.
You're right, Christy. If something big happens, we can come back on and do another episode of Hoopin'. We're just not going to have a regular weekly show.
It's going to be difficult, babies. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. But, time is time, and we just don't have enough of it with our 3 babies running around. We got to be there for everybody, and including ourselves as moms. And that could be a whole podcast when you come back. We'll get it all together for everybody.
I feel like I'm ready to go out and take some infield and get some BP in after watching the World Series last night. The Yankees, I'm a Mets fan, so I'm not that upset about it, but it was a pretty poor finish.
That was pretty amazing, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I feel like I could go out front and get a couple buckets, take these gloves off though. But, get some buckets this morning.
I can still turn 2. I know that. I was a shortstop. I can turn 2.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Wait, I'm going to take this off because I can't see. Okay.
It did look very nice, though. I will tell you, your kids are going to love it in your neighborhood. They're going to love it.
It's going to be fun. Hopefully they guess who I am, because I still gave them candy when they didn't guess last year that I was Beyonce. I guess I did a bad job there, but I still gave them candy. The parents knew, so there was a little silver lining, but the kids were like, we don't know. And I was like, well, no, full-size Snickers for you. Anyway, but I did give them some. I gave them some, but it was fun times. I love Halloween. It's so cute. I love seeing the little
Halloween too.
reminiscing about the kids, our own kids, right, when they were little, and how much fun and how much
The
candy
best,
they got.
the best Halloween costume that one of my kids wore was my son Joey. So he loved um, Jurassic Park. So he became a velociraptor. So I had the velociraptor mask. And what I decided to do was go to the craft store and buy different shades of green, like camo green colors, and do strips. And I created his own costume. Like, I'm not a creative person, but I thought this would be kind of cute. Like, I wrapped him up in all these different colors. So he looked like a dinosaur body color, but he had the head on. The one thing I forgot is that at some point he was going to have to use the bathroom.
How'd that go? What do you do?
It was a mess. I mean, I tried to get him to hold it. Let's go to a few more houses. I mean, I'm talking like he was like 4 or 5. No, he was like 3 or 4 years old. So it was a tough one. But that's my best costume. That's by far the best one I've ever. And then
that's so cute.
One year in grad school, I went as Dusty Baker. So in Athens, Ohio.
Yeah.
Athens, Ohio, and Ohio University is known for Halloween. Like, it is a huge party. It spills into Court Street and State Street. And I went as Dusty Baker.
Oh my God.
And he was the manager of the Dodgers at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the Dodgers won. So that made me think of that this morning.
Yeah. I guess my best kids one that I did, I was not crafty at all. Went to Target and hooked it all up, or Party City, one of them. Anyway, we had Batman. Their oldest son was Batman. Yeah. Bree was Batgirl. It was like Batman suit, but it was pink. It was so cute. And then Jordan was Robin, and he was he was like 2, if that.
I love it.
Like a year and a half, 2 years old. And he was standing there. He had the mask on. One eye was covered because it was just not staying on right. But it's the most cutest picture of them. I will cherish that one. And he was like just standing there like this, and the other 2 were like, yeah. And Jordan was like, okay. I know what I'm doing. It was so cute. So Batman, Batgirl.
Make sure that picture makes the Michigan State media guide.
Absolutely, because he was just standing there like, why am I wearing this? His face was just like, and one eye was like covered with the cutest. Oh, I miss those times so much as moms. Oh, we have special memories, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, we love it. We love it.
Yeah, that's right.
What'd you say, honey?
That's right. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? This is always a fun day when you send your kids to school and they had their costumes on, they had a little party, and then they come home from school and they're so excited and try to get some food in them for dinner, and then off trick-or-treating. I mean, I loved it. Yeah. I used to sit at the end of my driveway with a little portable fire pit that I had, and I would sit, even though, trick-or-treat goes from like 6 to 8. Yeah. After 8, I would sit at the end of my driveway and convene with my neighbors for some adult trick-or-treating. And that was always fun. I had some really good neighbors down the street that really enjoyed doing that with me. So
let me see if my heart works with these. It doesn't work with that. No, that's so cute. No, a neighbor, she always has this big blowout, bring some food, and the kids go around in her neighborhood. I wonder if she's still going to do that. I may pop over there tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway, they have, I might bring a little dish and then have some snacks. Yeah. It's always great when the neighborhood can get together too. So, and for the parents, it's always fun, right? Yes. The kids have a blast. They dump out, they count their candy and see how much they have. It's always competition. It was always with my kids, like I have 78, 79. I'm like, yeah. Oh God, like who, like split it in half.
Separate all the candy, right? Yeah, we would still. I do that with my neighbors' kids now. It's fun. What do you get? Do you like it? If you don't, put it over here.
Trade, yeah. Oh, great stuff. Just fun. Oh well, happy Halloween. I'm keeping these on because I talk with my hands, and it's making me laugh to see my hands like this. So.
Oh, I love it.
Keeping them on. I took the thing off because I couldn't see. So.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. So
look at that glove. That glove is in great shape because my dad taught me to round it off, right? I mean, and I catch the ball You don't catch it in the web. Catch it right here.
Oh, right in there. Which one's better? Put your glove up, mine or yours?
Pretty cool.
2 fingers in this one, so that's why.
Be careful which finger you're using there.
There you go. Oh my God, I could go on and on. Anyway, it's too much fun with you. I'm gonna miss you on these podcasts.
It's all right. We're not going far.
We're not going far. We're still like right here. Okay, so we have a lot of hoops to discuss, especially with the WNBA. And I know we touched on this last time, Debbie, with all of the coaching changes, but there has been yet more changes in the WNBA on the coaching side and the GM side for a couple teams too. 3 teams, I believe, have GM positions as well as head coaching positions open. And, you know, it's become a topic of discussion for WNBA fans and sports fans in general. Just, first of all, I think the main question that I've seen is what is going on in the WNBA? And what would you say is going on in the WNBA with that, Debbie?
I think there's 2 sides of it to me, right? There's one that I hope is the economic push with the players opting out, believing there's more money in salary, which got to believe there's more money in salary for coaches.
Right.
It's got to make me think that there's a higher profile coach out there that each fit or each franchise seems to find a fit for. You know, it varies by leadership and by returning personnel.
Okay.
You know, I'm interested in what the CBA becomes and what the players want now that they have charters and they've improved the quality of life for, you know, maternity and mental health and those things. Facilities and free agency is definitely a big part of it.
Right.
But I also there's 7 coaching jobs open out of 12, if you don't count the new franchise, right? They've already hired. So it's really interesting to me that there must be something coming down the road financially or from a creative storytelling or from an economic standpoint, because we've certainly, you know, I've called it a disruption. Caitlin Clark is an economic disruption in our game, which we've all benefited from. And from an ancillary standpoint, now, can there be big, bold changes around the spike in the game? So, and then like in the college game, same thing, incredible spike. We've got great personalities. How do we maintain or sustain? Because there's going to be a little bit of drop off in the college game, not much. And I only say that because, you know, we had such an incredible increase.
Yeah.
And as we develop storylines and new personalities around the game, some old and existing personalities, you know, like Paige and Juju and Hannah, Booker at Texas. I think it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how all that manifests itself in what our game will look like. And I know I'm bouncing around to a lot of different things here, but there's got to be something out there that these owners and leaders in these franchises think is coming that's big. I understand what Indiana was thinking from a timeline standpoint. And you know what? We are not in practice every day, and we don't know all the makeup of free agency and chemistry and things that you need to win. But I'll tell you, Kelly Krauskopf is a proven winner at Indiana. And I personally didn't think Christy did a bad job. It just the fit changed.
Right.
And I think Christy will get another job.
Yeah. And that's
be as a head coach in the league this year, but she'll definitely get another one.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, with the 7 jobs, like all 7 of those coaches can coach like someone, right? And that's the hardest part, because you see it in the NBA where coaches get fired or they go in a different direction and they end up on another team the very next year. Sometimes like with Doc Rivers in the middle of the season, you know, they got him in Milwaukee. So things like that happen, and the recycle mode.
It has to happen, right?
Because these are great coaches. Like, I don't know, like that's going to be difficult for me. Like people are saying, well, I hope they don't recycle. I'm like, well, everyone else does that.
Here's the difference, right? Like, you know, everybody runs the same stuff. Okay. Nobody runs anything unique or different than the next coach, but situations are really important.
Mm-hmm.
And, you and I have talked about situations. I talk about it all the time. Like, because the product is the narrative, I do have t-shirts that say that. I've been saying that a long time. Um, you have to be able to manage situations offensively and defensively inside a game.
Mm-hmm.
And, putting players in the right positions to succeed, putting them in the right positions to execute, and then they have to play it out, right? And sometimes it's just doesn't work. Sometimes, Sandy Brondello, ATO, had the best points per possession. Nate Tibbetts, Phoenix, was second. So when you look at that stuff, like, there's so much data and analytics out there. And then the personalities, like, that's the stuff that we don't know. We don't know what's happening on the road, in the locker room, at practice. We don't know all the dynamics there. We don't know what's being said behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And I do think free agency is going to play a big role in, the recruiting of free agents
Mm-hmm.
is going to be big. So
Yeah.
there's a lot there. We just don't know. And I don't want to speculate, and I'm not going to throw out a bunch of names. I have some thoughts on certain franchises and who they could hire. But I don't think that's fair. So I'm not going to do it because I don't like it when other people do it. And I don't want to lend credibility to something or not lend credibility to something. Like, I don't want to put somebody in a bad spot.
Yeah. No, that's very smart. And I'm going to ride that bus with you on that, because no, we're not going to do that. But at the same time, it's like, there are a lot of assistant coaches currently, on a lot of those 7 teams who could make their head coaching debut in the WNBA. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But
Yeah.
Who knows if that's what they want? We don't know.
Right.
So that's another reason why we're not going to do that. But definitely a litany of qualified coaches that have been 12 inches over as an assistant for a lot of teams.
That's right.
But when you look at, the expansion draft too, you were talking about the CBA, but there's also going to be expansion draft coming up with the new teams coming in. Golden State, they had already hired their coach, so that's not on the list of new hires or new coaches, whatever. But there's going to be some moving and shaking with a lot of players too coming up that are unprotected in terms of the free agency and the expansion draft that's got to take players to load up these new teams.
It's going to be interesting. The lottery is big because it's Paige Becker's Kiki Iriafen, right? And then will anyone challenge the WNBA rule about entering early? Like, Juju Watkins is a perfect candidate. Could she make more money? We saw Caitlin could make more money in the W. Would Juju opt to do the same thing? I mean, is it fair and right to keep her in college another year?
Right.
That's where I wish the two enterprises didn't work in silos, NCAA and WNBA. Right. They work independently of each other. Yeah. And you know what? Like, that's where it could be a movement instead of just a moment.
I like that. I like that.
I just think we're still in corporate America. I think I heard a number on a podcast that like 8% was being invested in women's sports before our spike or disruption or Caitlin Clark. And people get upset when I say Caitlin and I don't say other players. Caitlin is obviously the biggest disruption in our game. It's good. It's not Magic and Bird. It's Tiger. Yeah. So, would somebody challenge? Would Juju consider it? Would she want to? There's a lot on the table here. If the two enterprises came together, what could we do? But investment, I was saying about investment, like 8% in women's sports. And now I think the number might be somewhere between 12 to 18, something like that. So we're gaining.
Yeah. I mean, these are numbers. I mean, this isn't, and when you say that about Caitlin Clark, that's not like just throwing out her name. There are statistics to back it up. And that's not like just a fly by night opinion. Okay, so let's clarify that as well. Caitlin Clark has moved the needle. She has been a groundsweller in the WNBA, and even with her, right, and her ability during the season and the playoffs when they made the playoffs, you saw the numbers, right? But in the finals, the numbers were still good.
Yeah,
So
it's better.
she
So
went
it's
finals.
overall, it's incrementally, like we were incrementally growing, but we talk about this all the time. It's not a slight on anybody, the past, anyone who's played, all the great stars we've had in our game.
No.
Product's always been good. Our product's been good. It's great that we had somebody that disrupted the economic system so that we could all have a better chance of viewing and everyone could make more money. That's basically what it's all about. It's a business. It's business.
Business. That's the side that I like.
But we got to think that way.
But I like
We got to think that way.
Open it. Right. We're here.
You know, like in the college, like, you know, they're going to vote on whether women's basketball should get units. Right. You know, like the men get units. Well, don't you have to have a profitable product to be able to have units? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying it's probably contrary to way most people in women's basketball would think, because there's a lot of really smart people that have been fighting for units,
right,
for the women's game. But, you know, Charlie Baker's going to set aside $15 million if it gets voted through. But where's the $15 million coming from?
Right.
So if we're going to generate money and generate a profit, not just talk about revenue, but profit, like
two different things.
How do we change the landscape of our game so that we are profitable and we can stand alone? And I don't want to start launching into the Sweet 16 to Vegas, but you know, that was the disruption that I talked about 15 years ago. I wanted to change in our format.
You did?
In our tournament. So anyway, we're getting into a lot of stuff here that,
okay,
you know, it's, you know, we are paid to have an opinion. We are supposed to have an opinion. This is my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. You don't have to agree with it, but it gets people thinking. It makes me think, and what you say makes me think, and that's how you grow. Like, it's uncomfortable sometimes to go against, you know, and have conflict. It's always uncomfortable. Who likes that? But, you know, what's that thing about disruptive women and history and all that? Like, come on.
Yeah.
You know, we got to just think.
Think and move.
Just think. Find a solution. Don't complain.
That's right. Think and move. That's where we are right now. And it's not a moment. It's a movement. I am adapting that thought process because that's what we need to continue to grow. And that vote doesn't happen until April 7th, apparently.
Yeah, I'm working on, you know, some things that I hope, you know, I can help make us think. That's all. I want to think because I'm passionate about it, and I've always been passionate about the game. We've been around a long time. Like, this is awesome.
I know. And we've seen so much, and it's fun to think about things like you said. Also, to see those thoughts working and to see those thoughts executed. I think that's where we are now. Like, we've had a lot of thoughts, we've had a lot of, you know, opinions of it. Okay, now let's go ahead and put those thoughts to action and see what happens for the generation of our young women who deserve the best.
Yes, those young little girls that are out in the driveway playing right now are going to have a chance, you know, to play the game at a high level. And those that are in college right now, with the expansion of the league, it's going to be more opportunity to play. You know, it's going to be great. That, you know, they're playing a lot of sports. They're not all playing our sport, but our sports numbers and the demographics are going to change.
Yes.
We won't be able to measure that impact on this particular group of players and this time. Of course, Caitlin will be the biggest disruptor, and history books will lead with Caitlin, and that doesn't diminish what everyone else does. But this is where we are, and that's all I got for you today, Christy. I'm ready to go out and throw some, you know, BP or something. I'm ready.
Me too, but with these, I don't know. It might be pretty bad. Probably get hit.
You look good. You always look good. Good luck with the rest of your schedule. I know we'll be in touch.
Oh, thank you.
But like for our listeners that have been stuck with us all WNBA season, we've had a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got to do this. And I want to thank BMAC publicly.
Yeah.
He's the guy, man. Without BMAC, you know what, Christy? We wouldn't be throwing strikes.
We wouldn't. No, we would not be throwing strikes without our beloved BMAC, who has been with us along for this fun ride all season long, all summer. And now that it's, there's BMAC.
There he is.
Hey.
I mean, it was the highest viewed episode when I popped on before, so let's kind of.
Hey, we should have got your handsome face on here before.
Oh, we appreciate you, BMAC, so much, man. Thank you for just always being right there, setting us up, right? Every single time.
Yep, he's the best.
And y'all are easy to work with. It's as busy as you are, you still made it easy for me. So I appreciate y'all.
Oh, it's the best. Oh, look at our little picture. We need to do a screenshot.
He's a grand slam right there, B-Mac. Well, Christy, thank you. You know I love you. I'll see you down the road. You can come to my podcast anytime. You are always welcome. We can get you on regularly if you want.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I would love that. I love talking hoops. I'll make whatever time work. I will. Yeah. And, safe travels. I know you're going to be running the gauntlet coming up here. And I know you're going to be at Louisville to see your boy play. And I know that's going to be fun. And, what a journey this is.
I hope he gets a little time. He did get in on some exhibition games. He scored his first 2 points at the free throw line.
Let's go. Like,
perfect.
Just like mama.
Yeah, he gets there a lot easier than I did.
But you do the free throw.
I'm still doing it. I'm working out, getting ready for May 10 and 11. We'll keep all our listeners up to date on that. You can help get involved with helping me raise the $2 million for Special Olympics.
Oh, that is so amazing. That is so amazing. I'm definitely on board. I don't know, whatever I have to do.
I know. I got some ideas for you, Christy. I'll get you offline.
Okay, good. Yeah, I had a free throw situation, but I got through it. When I was a player, I had struggles, but then I worked my butt off to get my numbers up. Anyway, so I can help now. Like back in the day, I would not have been able to help much. But I got better. Anyway,
you got fouled a lot. I didn't, unless the other team got a technical. That was when I got to the free throw line.
Now I got hammered, honey. I was 136 pounds, 6'1". I was on the floor. Yeah.
Woo!
It was bad. But that's why I had to start making them, because I was like, if that's the only way I can score, then I need to make my free throws because I'm getting clobbered every day. So that was just not good. But I have PTSD now thinking of all the hard hits. But anyway, it's fine.
Take care.
Happy Halloween. Happy crock potting tonight. If you're crock potting, I'm going to try to think of something to throw in the crock pot for Halloween.
Good idea.
I love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye-bye. Oh, it's gonna be sad without you, but I love you. I'm gonna keep track of you. This is our final Hoopin BMAC. Right?
See you next summer.
Oh, see you next summer. Spring.
Yes.
Spring. We're gonna before the summer. I love y'all. Thank you guys for joining us all this time on Hoopin with Christy and Debbie and BMAC on the Her Hoop Stats Podcast Network. We'll see you guys soon.